Before we get started, welcome. For those of you who are new here, this is the Capital Circle. I'm Alejandra and I day trade the futures stock market. I also do option contracts, but that's a whole nother monster. It's a little bit more complicated. There are prop firms out there where you can buy or pay for a membership or like an account, and if you pay like a little fee, they will pretty much let you borrow between 25 to 50,000 to 100,000 without having you use your own savings or your own capital. And this is only good for traders that want to start learning how to trade. It's not really for like, I mean, it could obviously be for advanced and intermediate traders as well, because I've been able to pull more than $10,000 out of this by just paying $100, $200, $100, $200. And it's just a great way for you to get your feet wet. It's a great way for you to fail, lose money, and not have to worry about losing money. So of course, if we're on a practice account and I take a position right now, like if I buy
order filled
5 and I close the position and
order filled,
I make $12, it's not real $12, right? If and that's why I wanted to use the practice account, because I want to be able to show you guys trades like that where you could either learn how to use the buttons, learn how to use the tools. But the other thing that I do want to mention is there's another prop firm that's way cheaper than Top Step. Top Step right now, if for $100,000 account, it's $100. And if you go to Apex Trader Funding, right now they're having a sale. If you use the code SAFE now, I'm not even sponsored, which I should be. Make sure that you go under Tradeovate, because if you don't go under Tradeovate, you're gonna get the Rhythmic account, and the Rhythmic account is not compatible with the Mac. So you have to make sure that you get Tradeovate. If you get Tradeovate, let's say I just purchased a $100,000 account, and you use the code SAVE NOW. You just type on the coupon code SAVE NOW. You apply. You go to the next screen. You click on the little boxes here. Make sure you read the agreements. And then, you enter your card number, blah, blah, blah. And then right now they're $44. So technically, if you want to start trading right now as your first day, or you want to start your first prop firm, I can guide you guys to pass this account and to be able to get a payout. Right now, my one-on-one mentorship is currently closed, and group mentorship is also closed. But guys, any question that you guys have, please write it on the question section on the Capital Circle. Right now you can write it on the chat, but like in general about like the prop firms, about funding, about the rules, about the consistency rules. Because I've been doing this for maybe 2 years now, and I pretty much know this like the back of my hand. So utilize me as much as you can at the moment, especially if you don't want to spend your own, capital. So if you do buy the Apex account, unfortunately, you do have to use another platform, which is called Tradeovate. And when you pay and purchase the Apex funding, they will give you your username and password. So if you go all the way down, it'll show you right here, like this, that's my username and my password. So then you go to Tradeovate, you log on, that's the username and the password. And so now I pretty much have a $100,000 account. So this is technically a real account. And now I don't want to go over the rules, but pretty much if you get the $100,000 account, you have to make $6,000 in order for them to give you like the real account or like the real firm. And once you make the 6,000, after the 6,000 on the new account, which is kind of confusing, right? Like they give you after you pass the test, after you make 6,000, they give you a real account. And when you have the real account, you have to make another 6,000. And after those 6,000, I think anything you make, you take 50% of it a couple times. And then eventually, I think you take 90%. So of course, there's like a lot of rules, and they just want to make sure that they're protecting their capital too, and they're protecting their firm. But since this is kind of dark, I'm gonna use the Top Step one because I like Top Step Top Steps platform better. And I'm gonna teach you how I prep for the market on every Sundays. So futures market, which is pretty much Asia session, they open Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So right now, Asia session is obviously open and we can trade it, right? The New York market, they open at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. And sometimes I trade it, sometimes I don't. I think tomorrow I will wake up early to trade it because I don't have clients and I do have to work in the afternoon, unfortunately. So I will trade early morning, like I'll probably trade at like 5 or 6, be done by 8. I have to go to work and then I have to go to the gym and then I have to go to work and then I'm gonna come back and I'll probably live trade again around 3 or 5. So that's kind of like my average day-to-day routine. But anyway, so how I look at market prep every Sunday, and I usually don't do this every Sunday because once you have the whole chart mapped out, and guys, the cool thing about this is that you can use this to any ticker, to any chart. This is just called price action and you can utilize it for literally anything, any market too. I think you can use it for Forex, you can use it for crypto, you can use it for option contracts. So I'm pretty much teaching you the formula that you can utilize for any market. So what I usually do is I first mark out the highs and I'm going to go fast. Unfortunately, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, then it's okay. You can watch the recording. I mark out the highs and mark out the lows. The highs, I usually change it to a different color just so I know which one is which. And I look at major important psychological areas of importance and psychological levels. How I do that is I look for big fair value gaps. And it looks like one of the biggest fair value gaps is right there. I already had that marked my previous charts, but I'm doing it all over again with you guys so that you can learn how to read it. If you don't know what a fair value gap is, please look it up. I will have a lesson on it another time. Maybe like on Fridays we can go over fair value gaps and order blocks. But for now, I'm just going to kind of go a little bit fast. I don't see any important fair value gaps down here, but maybe if we take a look over here, we can see that down here, there is a bullish fair value gap. That could be an area of importance because that's where the market had a really nice run from. So as we can see, it has not touched it yet, and that's what I would love to see. I would love it to take that low, this low, and come down to this area or this level. And right now, since we gapped down and opened down, there is really no sign of bullish momentum. However, it's so important to continue to keep looking at all the different time frames because that's how you're going to find more areas of importance. For example, on February 5th, we have a little bullish fair value gap that has been used as support. As you guys can see, it held support there, it held support there, and it's holding support here. Now, I'm going to mark this. I'm just going to change the colors just so I don't get confused which one's which. And typically the bottom ones, I make them green, and the top ones I make them purple or red, just because I want the top to tell me that it's the resistance and I want the bottom to tell me that it's the support. And this one will just kind of make it like dark green so that we know, or let's do it dark blue, that we know that's like a major support area. So now from here, we have a really good, important fair value gap. Now let's look at the resistance one before the major one. Looks like this one could be a big one because that's kind of where it hit resistance, right? So let's make this purple. And now we have almost a range from here to here. At this moment, we're in the middle. It's kind of hard to say what direction it's going to go. From here, we kind of have major areas of importance. So now we're going to go to the 1 hour time frame. When you go from the time frames, imagine like the monthly, the weekly, the daily are like you on the top of a hill and you're looking at the horizon, right? So like imagine like you're on top of the Golden Gate Bridge and you're looking across the sea. You're on the monthly, you're on the weekly, you're on the daily. Now, as you are hiking, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, the top is so far, I can't see it. But as you go to the 1 hour, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, that means you're getting closer and closer to the uphill and your destination, right? So you're getting more detail. So we're just zooming in here. We're on the 1 hour, we're just zooming in. Typically, what you want to do is you want to go to the 15-minute and you want to mark out the highs of the 15-minute and the lows of the 15-minute. So here, I'm just going to mark out the high, which is right here. And I'm going to mark out the low, which is pretty much down here. Okay? So I'm going to make this one, let's just say greenish. And I usually make them light just so that they don't like confuse me. And I'm going to make this pink. All right, so now my strategy is super simple, guys. I go long at support and short at resistance, okay? So right now, I'm going to teach you something that is very, very simple. We're going to draw a trend line that's going to allow us to identify if this is uptrending or downtrending. And if you're paying attention, just go ahead and drop in the chat, what do you think this is? Is this a downtrend or an uptrend? If we can compare this to stairs, are we going downstairs or are we going upstairs if we were like a little human up here? Anybody? Down. Yes, Liz. Perfect. Awesome. This is a downtrend. Okay. Now, downtrend is comprised of two important vocabulary words. Please take notes and write this down. Typically, since we have a high here, right? So that's the high of the high. And then where was the low? The low is down here, so that's the low on the 15-minute chart, right? Once it stops giving us a new high, now we have a lower high. So this is a lower high, okay? I'm gonna just leave it black just because I'm too lazy to change the color. When you get a lower high, you're going to get something called a lower low. Why? Because we're not getting a new higher high. So this is now the first lower low, right? Starting from here. So this was the high. I mean, this was a lower low too. Lower high, lower low. And it just keeps going and going and going. So now we have lower high here, oops, copy and paste, another lower high here, copy and paste, another lower low here, another lower high here, another lower low here. Are you guys getting the point? And another lower high here. Okay, so what is the downtrend comprised of? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So since it already tapped into that low, it's kind of coming up right now, right? And so now it just gave us a new lower high right here again. So just put it on the chat. What do you think it's going to give us now? Anybody? Lower low. Thank you, Max. Beautiful. So would it make sense to take a short position and maybe ride it to take that low out? Yes or no? Write it on the chat. Yes. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. Now, please like screenshot this, or let me save this image. I don't know if I can put it on the chat. Yeah, I can put it on the chat. Cool. Study that image, please. I'm going to clear everything out. Well, not everything, but most of the stuff. Because I need it to be clean. Because I want to show you the next thing. All right, so now we have the most important things, right? We know that it's downtrending. We have the highs. We have the lows. We have the most important fair value gaps. We now know the potential prediction that we have. The odds are against us because now the market is pretty much telling us it wants to go lower. Now, it's very simple, guys. If it doesn't go lower, all we're looking for is for it to break this downtrend right here. And as soon as it breaks it, we're going to go higher. And then guess what we're going to get now? A lower high? Maybe. If it wants to go higher, we're going to see a higher low. If it wants to continue to go higher, we're going to get a higher high. And then a higher low. And then a higher high. And then a higher low. And a higher high. And a higher low. I don't want to go over that because I don't want to confuse you. I just want you guys to memorize the downtrend right now because we are downtrending and because we are kind of in a bearish market, bearish momentum. Maybe on Friday I'll go over the uptrend. So if you are short, you want to predict your trade like this. I'm going to risk above these highs and I'm going to take a short position to these lows. Okay, so that's how you would be mapping out your trade. Now, here's the thing I said earlier on the chat. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the chat, but I said the market can go either way right now. Let me explain why. If we just take a look at this area right here, just at market open, okay? Let's go to a 5-minute time frame. We're going to zoom in a little bit more because remember, the lower the time frame, the more detail. Guys, we have a huge gap down here, okay? So typically the market loves to fill the gaps. So we're going to draw a square like that and we're going to make it a little lower opacity, just like right there. And do you guys remember how this green box was a major area of support? If you don't remember, let's go back to the 4-hour. Do you guys remember how I told you guys that this was a potential good area for support because it pushed from there, it held there, it held here, and it held there. So now we're like in a predicament. We're like, oh shit, the market wants to tell us that it wants to come lower because we're getting lower highs and lower lows. But we are also in a major supply zone, not major, but like a pretty good supply zone where it needs to show us if it's going to break down or if it's going to hold and keep going up. Because essentially, it can also hold and continue to break that trend, like I said, give us higher lows, take out that high, and hit that resistance, and then come down from here, right? And then go. Now, because I've watched the market many times, I really believe and I feel that it might come down to take this low down here and fake us out to make us believe that we're going to go down to this level. But I think it's going to squeeze everybody and it's going to go all the way up there before it actually comes all the way down. I don't know. That's my vision. But again, not financial advice, right? We're just studying price action here. So now let's go back to the 5-minute time frame because now we're like, oh shit, this could go either way, right? So the only way that this is going to go higher is if it breaks this trend, right? And if we're short, we just need to monitor that it doesn't go above it. Because technically, if we also take a look, this could be a potential, what we call bull flag. A bull flag is typically a bullish momentum and it has another leg. So it's usually a rally, base, and then a rally. And right now it's holding. It's not giving us momentum that it's going to go lower to come take out these lows or to take out those lows. So it could be a fake out, right? So that's why it's so risky right now to take a position. And we just have to wait for the market to tell us what it's going to do. However, if you do want to practice and you want to take a position, I mean, you can totally take a position even at this level. Maybe wait for it to come back and retest it and take those order filled, 10 contracts, risk above those highs type of thing, and then have your profit target be down here at these lows. That's a nice risk reward, right? Like this, and map it out like that. I tried to take it earlier and I got squeezed out. I don't know if you guys saw that. I got squeezed out. I took a $500 loss here, and then I went long and I made some of it back. But then I saw the rejection because we're still on a lower high and we're downtrending. And then I ended up taking shorts, and I'm, believe it or not, still holding my short. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, it could go either way, but we have to wait for confirmation to see what it's going to give us. And it looks pretty bearish at this point. When we opened this morning, our Asia session, it opened down here. So that was March 1st. And then it's just kind of been holding. So we'll see what happens. Typically what I like to do is I like to split the screen, and I'll use the right side as my 1 minute time frame so I can execute. And I use the left side as my 15-minute time frame to kind of check out like what's going on overall. One other thing that I look at that's really, really important, I usually go to the economic calendar to see what news is gonna happen. Make sure that we take a look at what's going on so we're prepared and we kind of have like a better understanding as like what the market could do. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims that could also move the market. U.S. productivity, price index could also move the market. What moves the market is FOMC, and we don't have FOMC this week. We have CPI next week and core CPE as well. So I don't see that much volatility happening, but with the war happening and stuff, like I wouldn't doubt if we see some bearish momentum. That's why it's very, very, very important for you to just learn price action and ride the wave. Don't try to guess, don't try to predict. That's not your job. You're not a hedge, you're not a bank, you're not a professional, you're not on Wall Street. Like, we're just little people trying to bite the pie. Okay, we're not trying to take even a piece of the pie. We're just trying to bite the pie. So don't get greedy. Don't be greedy. Be intelligent, be smart, be patient, be humble, right? The market is going to pay you based on your trades. It's not going to pay you based on how smart and how good you are at reading the charts. So if you're patient, if you're humble, the money will come, and now it's your job to protect your capital and to be consistent and stay disciplined to keep the consistency going. So good luck trading out there, and be safe. Protect your capital, guys. So thank you. For the YouTubers, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and the link is on the description to join my Discord. If you have any other questions or you have any other ideas for videos, please drop it on the comments, and I'll see you guys soon.